doing things differently, addressing the mistakes of the past, rejecting a status quo that didn't work, doing something that really is befitting of the greatest city in the world. And one of the areas that we continue to work on is improving the relationship between police and community, deepening reforms in NYPD. This is work that will continue to go on. We just had an extraordinary process that created a huge reform plan with a lot of big steps forward. But I know members of the council said, we've all said, the work always continues. So today, the work will continue because it's so important to recognize there's always more to be done. In the reform package, we addressed a host of issues. We addressed, for example, a better process for assessing officers who might have problematic behavior and ensuring that they are addressed and, if necessary, that they do not patrol our streets. We addressed things like ensuring that if an officer has committed a serious act of misconduct and it's been proven through due process, calling upon the state to cancel pensions in that case. We talked about how to use the entirety of an officer's career in looking at promotions, looking at things that went well, things that didn't go so well, factoring in all those in a very systematic way as we make promotion decisions. We've changed the preference we give to New York City residents as part of the reform package that we did with the council. So now New York City residents will be further favored in the recruitment process to become police officers. And we're addressing so many of the root cause issues, looking at what has historically been called the poverty to prison pipeline and how we can undo that and address the root causes. All of these things we're working on right now as part of that original reform plan. But we want to do more. And in the conversations with community members, with elected officials, particularly city council members, a lot of other ideas came up that we want to keep addressing. And I particularly want to give thanks to Councilmember Adrian Adams of Queens, who is the chair of the Council Public Safety Committee. We had a number of very detailed conversations as part of the reform process. And we talked about the fact that although there's been real progress in ensuring diversity in the leadership of the NYPD, there's more work to be done. And we talked about the ways that we could make sure that happens systematically, not just on the basis of individual promotions, but on a whole systematic level throughout the NYPD. And we talked in particular about other approaches that have worked in this country. And one of them we borrow from professional football, from the NFL, the Rooney Rule, the idea of ensuring that for every major position that there is a guarantee that people of color will be interviewed and given maximum opportunity. That approach in professional sports has proven to be effective. There's always more to do, but it's really helped. We want to bring that approach here to the NYPD. And it's something that, it could be done in a lot of different ways going forward beyond the NYPD, but we're going to start with the NYPD because it's so important to show the communities of this city that everyone is represented in the leadership ranks of the NYPD. So I want you to hear from some of the council members who've been involved in this reform process. And I want you to know that the work we all did together has led to the decision to issue an executive order that will address the hiring process at the NYPD and ensure that diverse applicants, candidates get opportunity. So this will be a major reform and a systemic reform. And it came out of these conversations with the City Council and particularly with the chair of the Public Safety Committee. My pleasure to introduce Chair Adrian Adams.